Now let me invite on stage the director of NISM, Mr. Sandip Ghose, to deliver the welcome address to start this conference. Mr. Ghose.
Let me do a formal welcome to the NISM campus. This was inaugurated on 24th December by the Honorable Prime Minister, and he was accompanied by the Finance Minister, the Chief Minister, the Governor, and the Minister of State for Finance, and virtually all the who's and who of Mumbai were here, including some from Delhi. So we are privileged that he came all the way from Mumbai to do this inauguration. And in that continuation, I would say that our chief guest for today, Mr. Sinha, Chairman of SEBI, was instrumental in bringing him here. I don't have that capacity. This campus, whatever you see, has been, it is unique in the sense that no other financial sector regulator, or for that matter, no government body would have set up this size of a campus, not only for India, but the whole of Southeast Asia, SAARC, Middle East, and the global world. Most of you are aware that NISM does a lot of activities through its 7 schools of excellence. There is a school for securities education, for which this campus is the key, because both research and full-time postgraduate programs would happen from this campus. While I speak, already a masterclass in financial markets is going on, and it is a major masterclass which is happening in India. It is supported by Eurofinance, and the master trainer comes from UK to conduct this masterclass. So like this, annually we do 7-8 major master classes. We do 40-50 executive development program. We run 5 postgraduate programs. And on the subject of certification, NISM globally is the biggest certifier. We certify 150,000 people every year through 22 certificates, of which 17 are mandated. We have recently also created certificate for the pension regulator as well as the bankruptcy board, which were launched in 2016. We have a commodities derivative certificate coming up, which will be shortly launched in the first quarter of 2017. Why is certification important? There are many things you can say on this subject, but I can say that it is a big differentiator for India, because none of the SAARC countries or the Southeast Asian countries, except maybe for Malaysia, where we see some certification happening across market, and this professionalization of personals in the market, I feel certificates provide a tremendous day-to-day moral boost to the person who works there, and also to the market who supports, who feels comfortable that I am dealing with somebody who is certified in that profession. And I think that comfort, because markets are very dynamic, and in that dynamic state, bulk of our financial literacy which we provide today, I have seen people give the least amount of concern where giving their money away to different market intermediaries. Somebody intervenes, tells you to sign at a particular point, and you have got into a product. But today this signing becomes credible if the person who is getting it signed is also briefing you through his knowledge of this entry-level certification. This conference came up because Moody's and NISM got together sometimes a year back, were discussing what could be the next step. And we are using this conference also to launch the Advanced Derivative Certificate in collaboration with the Moody's. Because there is a huge amount of market demand that we have gone through the basic derivative certificates, is there a possibility to do the next level? And that is how we thought annually we'll do a conference to encourage certification and capacity building, as also take the opportunity of launching that certificate as a part of this conference. So I was telling you, $60 million to be put into a campus of this size, it required a lot of heart from the regulator. And Mr. Sinha did not blink an eyelid to get it done. I'm very happy that we are able to run this campus during his tenure. Not only complete the campus, but run it during his tenure. No other regulator, I worked for Reserve Bank. I was telling my colleagues from Canada, I worked for Reserve Bank for more than 3 decades. We run a number of institutions, but most of them are comprehensively dependent on the Reserve Bank where financial support is concerned, and that is operational, not capex. In our case, we have an understanding, and NISM will take care of its operational running, and SEBI will provide the capex. And when I say SEBI provides the capex, SEBI doesn't hesitate to provide it. So this campus has come up principally because you had SEBI's hand behind you. We do a lot of work, but as Mr. Sinha also mentioned in one of his addresses, that this campus can only come to its real, for the purpose for which it was set up, it can actually look towards it if the market intermediary adopt this campus. If they treat it as their campus, run their programs from here, request NISM to do research in different areas of their concern, and day to day, because today NISM is one of the few NISM as a academic organization runs postgraduate programs with a tremendous support from the market. We run it purely because there is a core staff of faculty, senior faculty, which teaches the academic program, and the market comes into the class to teach the application of those academic programs. Without that application, it is not possible to run programs for the markets today. NISM acts as a finishing school to so many market intermediaries, where people come from pure academic background and then come and do a finishing school of 6 months in NISM to shape themselves into becoming job worthy. So I will not take much time. I'll again say that we are very privileged to have Mr. Sinha here. We are very privileged to have Andrew Kregler, the Managing Director and CEO of IROC. We are very privileged to have Mark Almedia, the President of Moody Analytics, amongst us, as also a lot of senior people whom some of them spoke yesterday in the pre-dinner speech. I'll just take you through a small video which was shot for the Prime Minister to give you a brief history of what SEBI has done in the last 3 decades. Because to capture that history, it will require a full day for me to talk about it. But in this 5-7 minutes, you can see what the SEBI has done and why it became necessary to set up an NISM. Can we have the video, please?
Ever since the dawn of civilization, trade has inspired communities to engage with each other. And at the heart of this global reciprocity lies India, offering one of the oldest known free trade networks for the merchants of both East and West. With rapid expansion in the global trade at the turn of 17th century, began the era of modern banking and capital markets as investors formed enterprises and shared their ventures, risks and profits. However, in a lucrative but uncertain marketplace, capital raising and investor protection needed to go hand in hand. And hence, markets were organized into stock exchanges. India experienced her share of economic evolution in 1875 with setting up of the Bombay Stock Exchange and the commencement of trading in commodity derivatives. Similar exchanges were constituted in the other parts of the country. New legislative measures were brought to manage business and aid Indian industries post-independence. 4 landmark legislations came into force to regulate the stock markets. While Indian capital markets evolved and geared up for globalization in the 1980s, they also suffered from several shortcomings. To tackle these issues and ensure a healthy growth of capital markets, a separate board for the regulation of stock exchanges and the securities industries was set up by the Government of India in 1988. SEBI was born. Gaining autonomy in 1992, SEBI transformed the market policy from a control-based regime to a disclosure-based regime. A fully automated, demutualized, electronic and order-driven exchange followed next, bringing in a much-desired competition to accelerate the process of development and reforms. With world-class depositories and dematerialization of securities, SEBI rid investors of bad delivery, frauds and delays associated with physical securities. The initiative also made settlement mechanism more efficient and transparent, paving the path for nationwide trading. Mutual funds regulations, new FPI regulatory regime and introduction of derivative products by SEBI led to massive investments from all quarters in recent times. In 2014, the Government of India strengthened the SEBI by providing additional powers that further enhanced the Indian regulators' enforcement capabilities. SEBI now kept a sterner vigil over the market to maintain market integrity and protect investors. A journey of almost 3 decades has seen SEBI emerge as one of the most effective and respected regulators in the world. Yet, to complete this journey towards developing a world-class securities and commodities exchange mechanism, SEBI needed an extensive network of knowledgeable and trustworthy market professionals. To meet the challenge, the Government of India authorized SEBI to set up an institute for teaching and training intermediaries in the securities markets and promoting research. And thus, National Institute of Securities Markets came into being. NISM has 6 schools of excellence that offer 5 full-time and part-time academic programs, 22 certifications, and numerous specialized training programs to continuously reskill existing professionals to meet the requirements of the dynamic marketplace. NISM's financial literacy campaigns have initiated a silent revolution across the country and have tremendously improved general public's awareness about banking, investments, and personal finance. To create a financially aware and empowered India, NISM has been entrusted to implement the National Strategy for Financial Education. But to meet the growing demands of an expanding capital market of an emerging economy, the existing infrastructure of NISM was not enough. With all the support from Government of Maharashtra, which included an allotment of 70 acres of land, NISM took a quantum leap by setting up a new state-of-the-art campus at Patal Ganga, located along Mumbai-Pune Expressway. Funded by SEBI, the new NISM campus is a sustainable green campus and boasts of all modern facilities to foster exchange of ideas, conducting cutting-edge research, and inspire dialogue across industries and countries. With this new campus, NISM stands uniquely poised to become an institution that would not only serve financial markets in India, but also the other developing markets of SAARC, Middle East and Africa.
Thank you very much. I request you to enjoy the next 1.5 days of the conference. There are 4 technical panels which provides you the best speakers from the globe to address those concerns. Thank you very much.